Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Elon Musk is playing with fire. I think he is dealing with some forces that are easily capable of having him disappear or legally being indicted, convicted, and imprisoned legally. And he again attacks or has less than how should I put it, enthusiastic statements addressed to George Soros. Remember, the George Soros is that Hungarian fantastic hedge funds philanthropist. These are the terms you have to refer to George Soros. You can say, he is a speculant, he speculates on the stock market, or he destabilizes countries, or his NGOs destroy certain kind of fabric of the society, or that he's Jewish. Those things don't mention. You mention he's Jewish when he does good things. And since he's always doing good things, I don't know why they don't mention. Anyway, let's see what Elon Musk did again during a podcast with Joe Rogan. Again, he calls his friend George Soros eroding the fabric of civilization. This is George Soros, according to Elon Musk. And, could be true. Or at least his actions could indicate or could make some people think that way. You see how diplomatic I'm trying to pretend I am? Russia Today, November 1st, 2023. George Soros, and I'm quoting, eroding the fabric of civilization. Elon Musk. The SpaceX CEO reiterated in a podcast with Joe Rogan that the Hungarian billionaire fundamentally, and I'm quoting, fundamentally hates humanity. No, I disagree. He doesn't hate humanity. He hates a certain kind of way certain countries run their lives and their civilization. I think he hates their civilization, but only some. I don't think he goes to Zimbabwe or to China to try. Maybe he goes to China because, after all, he has his vision. Now, prominent U.S. Democratic Party donor, I really don't care if it's Democratic Party or not, but that's a fact, George Soros is effectively trying to dismantle society. SpaceX owner Elon Musk claimed during a podcast with Joe Rogan on Tuesday. Musk slammed the liberal Hungarian billionaire for effectively changing laws by making sure they are not enforced. You see, is there anywhere in this article mentioning that he is Jewish or just he's Hungarian? I am American as I'm American. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's the way I kind of am American as he is Hungarian. Well, prominent U.S. Democratic Party. Okay, and I'm quoting. He's doing things that erode the fabric of civilization, end quote, Musk said, explaining that the current lawlessness plaguing American cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles is the result of Soros backing progressive district attorneys who, and I'm quoting, refuse to prosecute crime. Musk noted that the billionaire was also pushing these things in other countries too, certain of countries. And he's going to tell you how he's doing, how you don't have to change the laws, you just change the people who supposedly are in charge of enforcing the laws. And I'm quoting, quoting Musk. Soros realized that you don't actually need to change the laws. You just need to change how they're enforced. If nobody chooses to enforce the law or the laws are differently enforced, it's like changing the laws, Musk surmised. So Musk went on to claim that despite the 93-year-old Soros being pretty old and I'm quoting, basically a bit senile at this point, he was nevertheless very smart and very good at arbitrage. figuring out that the highest, and I'm quoting, value for money was in support local races rather than national election campaigns like those for Senate or the presidency. So you do it locally, and then by doing it locally, eventually you're gonna hit the jackpot with the idiots over there. That's a different league, right? Now, earlier this month, the office of Russia's Prosecutor General designated the Soros-funded Central European University as, and I'm quoting, undesirable for attempting to discredit Russia's political leadership and distort history. And I'm quoting, the so-called educational institution, non-governmental organization, conducts several programs that deliberately devalue and distort the history of the Russian state, downplay the merits of prominent Russian scientists, writers, and cultural figures, and promote pseudo-scientific claims that Russia is to blame for all the world's cataclysms, which is clearly not true, the Prosecutor General Office said in a statement. Other Soros-affiliated NGOs have also been banned and undesirable organizations in Russia, which has repeatedly accused the financier of trying to meddle in its domestic affairs. No mention of the word Jewish, Jew, or anything like that. Well, whatever, man, that's their article. But I mention it because I like truth and I like to keep you informed. So I add more information than Russia Today. I don't know why Russia Today choose to do that, but hey, that's their little thing, as this is my little thing. So I will tell you my first experience with Soros. When the first time I heard about Soros was in 1990. That was the first time. And after the revolution in Romania in 1989, in December, I was just a teenage boy. In 1990, there were some attempts to break Romania, obviously, because that didn't work at 1989. So they tried to break it. And they organized certain kind. I didn't know at that time. I thought they were spontaneous, how do you call that? Meetings, people showing in the street, demanding this, demanding that, destabilizing actually the country. But I didn't understand that at that time. And there were some people saying, some adults saying, that those protests were financed by with Soros money. And I didn't know who the Soros was. I didn't know if that was possible. I said, what do you mean? I mean, like someone in the parking lot or in the parks distributing money. And so, yes, yes, kind of like that. At that time, I was naive. I was a teenage boy. So, okay, I didn't know much about anything. So in this case, that was my first encounter with the name Soros. And then I never looked into it. I never came back to me. Soros late came to me again with Soros. Who the hell is Soros? And then I started learning about this guy, what he did during the Second World War, which he calls his greatest time of his life, I think. What he did with his fellow Jews in Budapest, and it's available, you can find it, and many other things. How he speculated on the stock market, how he opened these NGOs, which the Russians give you just a small example of what that university does. But they have this Open Society Foundation, which is global, mostly European, because that's the culture, the civilization that ho ho ho, it must go. All right, just to use something from Vietnam time. I was not born, but anyway, or I was. No, I wasn't. Anyway, my friends, here it is. Elon Musk will definitely get, or I think he already got the attention of Sauron's eye, the eye of Sauron from the Lord of the Ring. I explained in a video a few days ago who that is, and Sauron will send its orcs, and definitely I don't see Musk. Really, I don't see Musk ending very well. He might be a billionaire, he might be this and that, but I think this is my prediction, unfortunately. I think Elon Musk will be stopped. And when I say stopped, that means stopped. We'll see. Time will tell. Unless he is part of the system. Remember, in a controlled society as ours here in the United States of America, that we call free society, you give the illusion that you have the freedom of speech, but the freedom of speech is channeled. It's limited to certain subjects, and you know what you're not supposed to touch, what subjects you are not supposed to have a different opinion, and you're not going to say it, because you're going to say it, they're going to use you as an example. They will crucify you. That's one thing. And then you have one guy that somehow is allowed to sometimes, challenge the status quo of freedom of speech. And you have people like, I don't know, Ben Shapiro, or maybe like Elon Musk, that somehow they are allowed to say certain things, and you wonder why. And not only that, there's some other ones too, not only Ben Shapiro. And some others that are saying certain things that if anybody else will say it, they would have the channel banned, who knows what, and so on. The mass media turning against, and so on. So then you look at these guys and say, oh, look at these guys. They have the courage, they have the ability. They're allowed to. Why? Because from that 3% that they give you, they are allowed to give you, all right, a different take on things. The 97, they give you the same garbage as everybody else, as the mainstream media. But for that 3% that you think that, oh my God, he's the fighter for freedom of speech, that 3%, he's allowed to say it to give us the illusion that, hey, we can have freedom of speech. Look at that guy. But you don't know that that guy is controlled. He's allowed to say just 3%, no more. But we don't know that because we don't pay attention to see those 3%. But if you pay attention, you're going to realize the 3% these guys are allowed to say or do. So the same with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is allowed to function and be a rebel, or why? He's just allowed, my friends. When he's going to increase from 3% to 4%, he's going to be smacked back to 3%. And if he thinks that he is independent and strong indeed, they will take care of him, legally or illegally, who cares? And they will say he was a national threat for your security. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.